Ummah and the Masjid in the estate, and the subsequent rulings of the Masjid for easy communication and easy work, Islamic work by all of us in the Ummah. I think it will be good before we go further to know ourselves. Incidentally, the number is quite manageable. In some instances where the number is large, we just go ahead and take attendance. But since the number is manageable and it's always good to know ourselves as part of an Islamic etiquette, so that when we meet anywhere, we can, greet as people that know themselves, and by that, by extension, to promote Islam. So let me start with myself. My name is Muhammad Lawal Garba. Currently, I'm the acting chairman of the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Bashir Abubakar, the Assistant Secretary of Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Abu. I'm a resident and one of the committees of the Masjid.
My name is Engineer Abubakar Ibrahim, a member of the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah Esco.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. Sa'ad Garba is my name, the auditor of the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Malaya Mahmoud, Assistant Treasurer at Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Engineer Mustafa Juni. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Engineer Musa Ahmadi. I'm the chairman of the Gwarinpa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Ibrahim Abdullah, the Imam Masjid Al-Huda. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Adam Imam. I'm the second Imam of this Masjid Al-Huda. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Muhammad Awal Umar Farouk. My name one of the Imams of this Masjid.
My name is Ismail bin Muhammad, one of the members of Masjid Al-Huda.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Abdul Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Awal Lawal, the admin officer of Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Why are we here today? Well, we're here simply because the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah is trying to reposition its own activities to ensure that more hands are on deck, and to ensure that activities not being carried out hitherto are being carried out. The Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah was registered sometimes in 2004, The problems of the Ummah then was largely places of worship. Back then, places of worship were being taken over by people and being converted to other uses. So some of the members of the Ummah decided to come together and form the Ummah so that those places of worship can be recovered and be put to use as designated by the Federal Housing Authority. 2040 date, a lot has been achieved in that respect. Also, as at then, there were quite few places where Islamic activities were being carried out. Tafsir, during Ramadan, Tahajjud, and other Islamic activities. You are in the estate, but those places were not there. So the coming of the members of the Ummah ensured that such activities were being carried out at that time. And since then, a lot has happened, and tafsir, da'wah activities, all others are being carried out at several places within the estate. So, Alhamdulillah, but as we all know, as we move forward, a lot of Islamic activities are there to be carried out. So, the Executive Committee, Executive Council of the Gwarinpa Masjid Al-Huda decided to reposition the Ummah so that more hands can come on deck. When the Ummah was formed, it was formed like in a hurry, so to say, because there was an existing problem which had to be tackled. And so a lot of positions were fused into one. The trustees also became the executive committee members. So like everything was being done just to ensure that the objective back then was achieved. So going forward, we discovered that, okay, massages has been built, cemetery has been acquired, eat ground has been acquired, and a lot of other activities are being carried out. Then what next? Yes, what next is we need to move ourselves forward. We need to look at ourselves and see what are those areas that we are not doing much. Is it in the areas of youth empowerment? Are we doing enough as Muslims? Is it in the area of entrepreneurship, businesses, commerce? Are we doing enough? If you go around, most of my Ebola, all these petty things are our people. Are we talking to them? The people doing petty businesses, they can have small shops. Are we talking to them so that they don't remain predominantly as Keken, or they don't remain predominantly as petty traders? Because if we carry them along, we are helping them, but we are helping the Ummah and we are helping ourselves. Most of the problems that we face today in Nigeria as Ummah is because we feel that if we do what we need to do ourselves, we don't need to carry others along. If you look at right from the Boko Haram issue, the kidnappings, all this, it's like we are not working for ourselves, we are not carrying ourselves along. So we have to start with that. So that is the focus of the reposition for the Muslims. And that is why we are here, so that we can appreciate from where we were coming, where we are, and where we need to go. To do that, a census was carried out. The chairman of the census committee is here, Engineer Ibrahim. And over 100 masajid were registered. And they were grouped into districts with the district headquarters. And from the record we have, this is Masjid in the district headquarters of Zone 4. Yes. So the sensitization for today is supposed to be for the whole district. This and other 7 massages. I believe they were all contacted. Maybe some of them are here or they will join us as we move forward. But even if they do not, we expect the district headquarters to organize a meeting with the representatives of the other massages so that they can also be briefed and carried along. And why is the district important? Yes, it is. We have done few experiments, and we discovered that the district experiment is very successful. If you go to 321, you will see that a new Jumat masjid is being built. For those that know 321. And that project is being handled by the Muslim community. They are under the umbrella of the Gwarinpa Muslim group. And it's working. The maintenance of the Eid ground and First Avenue was also handed over to the community there by the Gwarinpa Muslim group. And progress is being achieved. Even the cemetery at the First Avenue, it's a history of community, is coming together and being guided, and we achieve success. So it means if there is a project here, even though the Ummah will come as an umbrella body, but the community, will push it. The Ummah will move to other places, come along with the community. So by the time it's being pushed, you will see that it succeeds. I believe there was this cemetery project that we wanted to push also through this masajid and other masajids here. So it's always easier for the closer communities to handle projects, with the support of other communities. So where are we now? Yes, there's a draft constitution, and sensitization is being carried out. We had already, this is the third sensitization we are doing, so that by the time we go through, we'll get inputs from you, so that at the end of the day we have a constitution that works. And what is the focus of the Constitution? The focus of the Constitution is to ensure that more hands, as I had said earlier, are on deck. So as we move on, you will see organs are being introduced into the realm of the Ummah. Let's see what the Constitution looks like. Okay, this is the preamble. We know all constitutions have preamble. The way people of Gwarinpa to Muslim Ummah have agreed to do, they make a constitution for the realm of association. This is normal preamble. Yes. So this one is also a continuation of the preamble, and the association will just be known as the Ummah. By the time you say the Ummah, it means you are referring to the Gwarinpa Muslims. And well, the digital office should be at Gwarinpa here. And these are the aims of the association: to promote, advance, propagate, practice, and teach Islam according to the tenets of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. To foster unity and cordial relationship among all Muslims, to give, provide, and render aid, assist, and help members of the Ummah and such other well-known persons as the Ummah may deem necessary from time to time. So this one, go ahead. These are all the objectives. Okay, this is where the changes are happening from the old constitution into the new constitution. These are the organs that we are looking at going forward. The General Assembly, which we know consists of all of us. But how do we form the General Assembly? Either to, when we say there is a General Assembly, we just expect people to come and sit, but going forward, now we want it to be more formal. So the General Assembly will now be made up of the masajid that we have registered, Islamic schools that we have that will register with the Ummah, and other bodies that will now register as members of the Ummah. So that by the time a masjid registers, it will say, okay, I will be represented by social person, social person. So if there is a meeting, you will expect that masjid to be represented by those persons or any other person that at the time of the meeting, the masjid will say, okay, for this meeting, so and so and so person is going to represent us. The patrons, well, we know the patrons are some notable people that will say, okay, this one are the face of the Ummah. We just add them so that from time to time, if there is need for us in the essence to reach anywhere, we can use them to reach those places. The trustees, these are like the contact between the Ummah and the government. The names of the trustees are the names to be submitted for the purposes of registration. So that if there is anything, those are the people that government knows as Gwarinpa to Muslim. Then the executive council, these ones are the chairman, the secretary, treasurer, auditor, all legal advisor, and the rest of them. All will come in details as we move forward. Then standing committees. That's what I was saying before. There's a lot of work to be done. Is it now, is it entrepreneurship? Is it, things to help us, to help members of the Ummah. So they will come either as standing committees or as ad hoc committees. We have list of standing committees as we move forward. We will see them. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is giving us what the General Assembly looks like, as I mentioned, registered masajid schools, business managers owned by Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah are registered members. That the patrons have already explained this. Go on. The trustees, okay, they are to be appointed by the general meeting. That general meeting, that main body, is the one that is responsible for appointing who are those trustees. Now, 11-member man trustee is being suggested. This is not sacrosanct. It can come down, it can be added, depending on what the General Assembly deems fit. And since the appointment is by the General Assembly, the Executive Council, this shall be the highest authority in the day-to-day administration of the Ummah. They are the one to do day-to-day running of the Ummah, running of the Secretariat. You know, if there is a dawah to be done, everything, you know, it will be, because those are daily activities. So the Executive Council are responsible for the day-to-day administration. The standing committees. Okay. The thinking of the current Executive Council is that we shall have the following standing committees, which shall be an integral part of Ummah. That the Gwarinpa Imam Assembly. By this, it means something like trying to get the imams to come together to discuss issues, you know, in the estate. We should not wait until there are issues before we come together. Then the Gwarinpa Districts Forum, like as I mentioned earlier, this is District 4. We have 6 other districts. So those districts also should be coming together from time to time to discuss, what is happening in this district, what is happening if there are projects in any of the districts, we will know the kind of assistance that will be needed from other districts. Then the Properties Projects Committee, the Da'awa Committee, the Gwarinpa Muslim Schools Committee, the Gwarinpa Women Forum, Business and Finance Committee. Just as I have said, this Business and Finance Committee will look at opportunities, even as is it at local government level, is it at FCT level, is it at federal government level, so that we can see how do we key into those programs and projects of the federal government. Just for example, when this registration was being done, what do we call it? This voter card, the Gwarinpa Ummah wrote to INEC, and you know, some people were sent here specifically on the request of the Ummah to ensure that our members do have access to the registration. So these are kind of things that if we come together, we can be doing. Court of Conduct and Ethics Committee. Yes. So these are the standing committees for now, but the Executive Council can from time to time add, reduce, you know, as the case may be. Ad hoc committees. There can be emergency issues from time to time within the estate and its environs. So we can set up, you know, an ad hoc committee, e.g. electoral committee, like if there is an election, you know, the Executive Council will be elected from time to time. So there will be an electoral committee. Like during the last Salah, you know, there was crisis in the Gwarinpa village, and the committee was set up by the Ummah to try to resolve the issue. So these are kind of what we call ad hoc committee. There is an emergency, and you set up a committee, and that issue is tackled. As long as that issue is done with, that committee stands resolved. Like the 321 masjid that is being built, there is a committee. As soon as they finish the project, that committee is an ad hoc committee. The rehabilitation of the Eid ground is an ad hoc committee. So these are kind of committees that will be set up from time to time. Membership of the Ummah. Membership is voluntary and open to all Muslim residents, masajid, schools, and other Islamic organizations in Gwarinpa and any other organization. Those who registered with the Ummah shall have the right to contest for any elected post based on terms and conditions to be set out by electoral committee. Members may also be appointed into the standing and ad hoc committees of the Ummah. So that is to say, for example, if this district, the masajid in this district, register with the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah, for any, if you register, there are rights and responsibilities, duties and obligations. So part of the duties, you may be asked to say, pay some token either monthly, annually, or whatever, because those are the monies that will be used to run the organization. Those are monies that will be used if there is any activity, is it Java, is it whatever. But if you register also, your members can now be appointed either as members of the trustees, as members of the executive council, as members of standing committee, or as members of ad hoc committee. If there is any job, you just say, okay, Masjid Al-Huda, send a name, we want to include it, there is an emergency. Because Masjid Al-Huda is a member of the Gwarinpa Muslim group. So it's just like coming together, move forward, and achieve our targets together. So general meeting, as I mentioned earlier, the general meeting shall involve all members of the Ummah, all the masajids, all the schools, all the businesses that are members of the Ummah. And it is at that meeting that all major decisions of the Ummah will be taken. And it should happen at least once every year. The accounts of the Ummah will be deliberated there. All other issues that are necessary to move the Ummah forward will be decided by the General Assembly. Okay. Okay, we have spoken about the General Assembly. This is the solution of the Executive Council. Okay, we have are you sure we have more anything to do with the trustees? Okay. The Executive Council, since we say they can be elected, that election can be by consensus, it can be by voting, normal voting that we do. But for the purpose of the Constitution now, what we have captured is by voting. So that when we say voting, it doesn't mean there must be a ballot paper. It can be by raise of hand, any method that is agreed upon, or even by consensus. Okay, so and so person. Okay, let's leave so person. But the electoral committee will decide on the ways and means by which election should take place. So even go back. We are talking about dissolution of the. So those members that are elected will normally have a tenure. I think for this constitution we have how many years? 4 or 3? 5 years. Okay. 5 years. One tenure of 5 years, so that when they finish another set can also do that. Because everybody wants to partake in good works, as Mother has just put into his own in the prayer we have just done. So, in case before the 5 years, if they are not performing or there are serious issues, those executive council members can be dissolved. If there is a general meeting and everybody felt that they are not doing what is right, the General Assembly can dissolve those elected for that period of 5 years. The Executive Council, after electing them, how do they do their work? They will do their work normally by way of meetings, and actual work. When at meetings, what to be done is decided. Then the actual execution also takes place. So the Executive Council may delegate any of their powers to the committees consisting of such member or members of their body as they think fit. So even after electing them, it's not everything that they say we must do. No. Once in a while they say, okay, you go and do this, you go and do this. This is all what we do, that's the normal thing. And the committee may elect chairman at its meetings among its members. That is, in case the chairman is not there, a chairman can be elected to run a meeting. That is also normal. Okay, that's what I'm just listening. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 layers: the trustees and the executive council. The executive council is the one that I mentioned that will be elected for a period of 5 years. But if you are elected as a trustee, as I have said, these are just proposals. It can be changed because as we move around, we get proposals. We get people bringing new ideas. A trustee may hold office for life, but shall cease to hold office if he dies, resigns his office, ceases to be a member of Gwarinpa to Masjid Al-Huda, becomes insane, is officially declared bankrupt, or is convicted of a criminal offense involving dishonesty by a court of a competent jurisdiction, or if recommended for removal from office and approved by members present at any general meeting of the Gwarinpa to Masjid Al-Huda. So the thinking here is, if you are a trustee, because your name has already been submitted to the government for the purpose of registration, it may not be wise to keep on changing every 4 years, every 3 years. Because, the trustees are like the custodians of the Ummah. So anybody that is a trustee shall hold office for life. But, well, as a human being, if anything happens, definitely he will not be there, as itemized here. And this is how the trustees are going to hold their meetings. They shall appoint chairman among themselves. Yes, because unlike the executive council, where a chairman will be elected, here they are all going to be elected as members of the trustees. So it is them that will say, okay, so person chair this chair as you are the chairman board of trustees. Then the Ummah shall have a common seat, which, for the purposes of documents, you need a seat. And that one will be created, and documents may be signed by the chairman secretary, the common seal of the Ummah. Well, I think I have gone through this. The executive council shall have these offices: chairman, vice chairman, secretary, assistant secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer, financial secretary, public relations officer, assistant public relations officer, auditor, legal advisor, assistant legal advisor, da'wah coordinator, project coordinator, welfare officer, district representatives, IT coordinator, and ex-officio members. And just as I had mentioned for the trustees, any office, even after election, the office can become vacant if the man becomes bankrupt, becomes of unsound mind, resigns his office, dies, fails to attend meetings consecutively for a period of 1 year without any official permission, or if recommended for removal from office and approved by members present at any general meeting of Gwarinpa Council. So for this, anybody elected here and is not attending meeting, automatically he ceases to be a member of the executive council, and that vacancy will be filled. So these are the duties of the chairman, which the vice chairman, the secretary, assistant secretary, financial secretary, treasurer, PRO, legal advisor, auditor. Okay. I have mentioned it that these people elected shall hold office for a period of 5 years. Only one term. Any member of the executive council may resign from office by giving not less than 1 month's notice. Any member of the executive council committee may be removed through a vote of no confidence cast against him by 2/3 of the registered members of the group. Properties of the Ummah. As we move forward, there are some of the schools, massages may be owned by the Ummah. And in the period that we are, there are documents. So who keep those documents? The Ummah's property documents should be kept under the custody of the chairman, board of trustees. The thinking is whoever at that level, whoever is elected into the board of trustees, even elected chairman, should be reasonable enough so that we don't have any fear that the documents of the Ummah are within his hand. Auditors, also this one, independent qualified and licensed auditors should be appointed by members at the general meeting to audit the financial records of the Ummah annually and submit an audited report to the annual general meeting of the Ummah. So whatever the Ummah is doing, there should be checks and balances, and it will be audited and reported to the General Assembly. Electoral Committee. This is to be set up by the Board of Trustees from members of the Gwarinpa Council of Ummah. Members of this committee shall be people of proven good track record and of impeccable character. They are to provide guidelines for conduct of elections into executive council positions outlined by the Constitution. Just as I have said, this committee will decide Is it by voting? Is it by consensus? Whatever. So that the most important is that the election is conducted peacefully and people that will be able to do the job are put there. So these are how the committee will be, the electoral committee will be set up. This is how elections are going to be. These are how elections are going to be held. Yes. Well, as we finish, we have soft copies and hard copies. It will be distributed so that we can look at it closer. And if anything that we cannot mention because we cannot be reading it from page to page. So these are how the elections are going to be held. You know, at least since we say it is 5 years, it means there will always be an election year after 5 years. Then candidates will be nominated. Like if this masjid, you want somebody to be chairman and you feel is competent, then you nominate him for the position of chairman. Then there will be guidelines. You know, so let's go. So there should be voter and election should be by secret ballot. So if there will be any voting, it has to be by secret ballot. You know, because they say elections bring, at times they bring enmity. But if you vote secretly, you know, the person doesn't know whether you vote for you or you didn't vote for you. To avoid enmity. And okay. So, and people can be disqualified. Even if you want to contest, if you are not a member of the Ummah, because the work is here. So if you are not resident here, you are elsewhere, it will be difficult for you to do the job here. And all those things that we have mentioned that will make somebody to resign, if he has already had those things like being a bankrupt person, being insane, you know, conviction. So if you have all those records, it means you cannot be put forward for election. Results of the elections. The results of the elections should be announced immediately after the conduct of the elections, upon collation and verification of votes. So there is no go home. We are here, we do election, okay, this is the chairman, this is. It's not say, okay, let's go and come back after 1 week. Finance. This is the source. These are the sources of funds that the Ummah will be getting so that the Ummah can be run. Registration fees and monthly dues. Just as I mentioned earlier, by the time we say Masjid shall register, there should be some registration fee and some monthly dues. And when if Ummah has funds from any other source, Ummah can, you know, be involved in business activities, and there can be profit. So that can be another source for Ummah. Donations can come in cash or kind. Borrowings, if there is something that is so sacrosanct and money is not available, you know, the Ummah can borrow to finance those needs, but it has to be approved by the General Assembly, and it has to be so important before you start thinking of borrowing money. It must be so important. But is there, in case you cannot rule out possibilities so that you don't get to the bridge and you cannot cross it. Returns and Okay, signatories to the Ummah accounts. The Ummah, if the Ummah shall have bank accounts normally, and the chairman, the secretary, treasurer, financial secretary shall be signatories to the account of the Ummah. A mandate can be endorsed by two of them, subject to the direction of the executive committee. These are details. Investment, these are details. Bank accounts, these are details. Code of ethics, well, for any organization, especially a religious organization, there should be code of ethics, which is our own Islamic code of ethics. Amendment of the Constitution. So, after the current sensitization exercise, after taking all the suggestions, the executive committee will go back and ensure that all those suggestions are incorporated. After that, a general assembly will be called. Then the constitution will be adopted. As soon as it is adopted and taken to the corporate affairs commission, then all the provisions of the constitution can be implemented. So I think with this, I think I will stop here. Okay, well, there is interpretation before this one. The trustees of the Ummah shall be responsible for interpretation of this constitution, and a decision upon any issue shall be final and binding. If there are issues to be interpreted, it is the trustees that will interpret the constitution. Then winding up, in case the Ummah, there is need to wind up the Ummah, maybe a bigger body will be formed. Maybe now it's Gwarinpa 2, maybe it's Gwarinpa 1 and 2 can come together. Anything can happen, and there is need to change the face of the Gwarinpa 2 system. You wind up the existing one and create a new one. So, in the event of a winding up or dissolution of the Ummah, there remains whatever remains after the satisfaction of debts and liabilities. Any property that remains, that is all the lawyers are trying to say, shall be given or transferred to some other institutions or institutions having similar objects to that of the Ummah. For example, if the Ummah went off today, and all the properties that Ummah have can be transferred to say, Gwarinpa Masjid Al-Huda, because we have similar objects. You get it? Or if there is a new body somewhere, it means that none of the trustees can take those assets and say, oh no, we are the trustees. It's our no, it's not. It's property of the Muslim Ummah. So it can only be transferred to another organization, another Islamic organization. Well, as I have said, by the time all the corrections are made, the constitution will be accepted to, approved, and registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Assalamu alaikum. So I think the floor is open now for contributions, suggestions, and the rest of it.
How to look at digital budget is I want to thank the Ummah for the document. It's a very comprehensive and it is in fact all encompassing from what you have said. The Allah reward you are but nevertheless, if you can give us a soft copy and still particular the set of the committee and then look at it and pass it on to I think a lot of stuff can explain my voice. Jazakallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us opportunity and extending our life to this moment to attend this noble gathering of how we communicate and how we reposition and organize ourselves to work more for Islam under the pretext and the banner of Muslim Ummah. So it's a great achievement and success at the same time. And inshallah, when we keep doing that, the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah will be greater. And that greatness in the Ummah is our own greatness. Because the more we make Islam great, that is our uplifted. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has not us will be placed to be members of this noble cause. And I wanted to ask us for the first time we had that this district headquarters of zone 4. District 4. Okay, this is the headquarters. Now, so we wanted to know the members, the massages that are under this district, so that later we'll send for them for a meeting as you suggested, to know ourselves and to know the problem that is within our community and how to resolve it. So inshallah we'll need the number and the places that those mosques are resided, so that inshallah will. So may Allah assist us. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Chairman of Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah, we thank you for a job well done. We also thank you for the comments that you have made. Now, I just want to go back a bit from the beginning of his own presentation. He made mention of the fact that how this Ummah came about. At the beginning, maybe when the state started, and there was a need for Ummah to be able to get places of worship. They decided to form this association to help them as a vehicle for pursuing the cause of Islam. Now, a constitution was formed at that time, and they did very well. That time, they tried to get some allocations of places of worship. They also tried, to get back to the Ummah those places that were earlier, that were allocated, but diverted to some uses. They made efforts, they got them back. One example is that of the 321. So, and then, of course, the Ummah also has been making efforts in maintaining cemeteries. There was one cemetery initially, the one along First Avenue, Third Avenue, or near Third Avenue, opposite War College. They tried the one at Rodinko. There's also one at Ladin now, which the Ummah is making efforts to do some infrastructure, in order that fits, the purpose. Now, constitution, as no, is our perception. Okay, it's our perception of how we want to operate. So it's something that is based on our own experiences and knowledge at a particular time. So when a need arises for us to change, as now, we are now changing. Is the former, is the initial constitution that we now added some areas, based on our own experiences. That is that, or the constitution. Now, this issue of creation of district masajids, district masajid districts. Initially, or in the past, when the Ummah wants to carry out some projects, what they do is few of them will go around to just some of the mosques they know about, and talk them into what they want to do. But we felt, after some time, that no, the best thing is let's carry out our census. Let's know all the mosques that are within the estate, so that we'll be able to get a database of Muslims living within Gwarinpa. Whenever maybe something comes up, maybe government wants a representation. With that kind of database, we will be in a position to get the people that are appointed, to meet the government. So this is what why we initiated that project of doing census. So, and as a result, as he mentioned, we were able to register over 100 mosques. And after that, we demarcated rather, the masajids to districts. Those masajids that are around First Avenue, they form District 1. Those around Second Avenue become District 2, and so on and so forth, up to the six districts. The idea is we have a district headquarters that, for the purpose of administration, yes, will be the one to administer the activities or coordinate the activities of all the mosques under its districts. Now, when we wanted to do this meeting, I think what we were supposed to do, I don't know whether the problem is from us at the Secretariat or not, but what we wanted to do was send you information, give you information on all the mosques under your own district, so that you will invite them for this particular meeting. I just checked, there are about 8 mosques also under this particular district. But when I look at attendance, only people in these mosques are present. So I don't know whether maybe when communicating to you about the meeting, they have not indicated those mosques that are supposed to be present in this meeting. Well, we are still working on the census project. We intend to come around and have a meeting with you, give you more information about mosques in your district, and then also explain to you what other roles we want you to play, for the success of that demarcation. I think, thank you very much. That is all I want to say for now. Thanks a lot.
So, thank you once more. On the slide, there was a discussion. I can't remember what it is, but yes, it's treated like helping the Ummah. So now in our district, are we supposed to, maybe when we know ourselves as district, going to design a model, most especially my concern is about the helping the Barongola, the KK people, Bishop, they are enlightening about the deen and the knowledge that consists in the deen. So, is there a model for it? It's going to be it's actually a very good step because I'm concerned about them. See, we have lost athletics in the world, especially brothers that they are doing maybe most of them they are working, they've lost the manners. So since it's designed to help them more enlightened and constant reminder of the deen and how to interact with the society, with Islam, the good name that it's supposed to have. The program, have you designed the program for the district to go about it, or the district are going to design the model on how to go about it? That's the question, sir. So I want to get more enlightened.
Assalamu alaikum. We mentioned something about Islamic development, and I default the chairman of the committee that is supposed to enlighten the larger stakeholders on the issues that the chairman has mentioned concerning what really happened during the after the Eid al-Fitr in the place that was to be a misunderstanding fact between Paris and the houses. But a committee was set up to investigate that. We come to realize that it's not actually an issue between Gwari and the houses, but it's an issue mainly emanating from the dealers of the drugs and those that are against them, which cut across all the tribes and the ethnic groups, so to say. As you all are aware, drug cartel is a very serious and challenging global menace that not only in Gwarinpa village, not only in Abuja, not only in Nigeria, but everywhere in the world. These drug dealers and drug pushers have their way and they have all what it takes to make them achieve their mandate. So in respect of that, there was a constituted committee by the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah, which I chaired with the membership of the Secretariat and of course the representative of the Gwarinpa village Meungwa. But some other concerns have made us not to do that. And with this question that has come from the brother there, we have been given initially the mandate to co-opt other members that can help in driving a course, a pathway, and a program design that will address some of the issues. It's not only a question of empowerment, but first and foremost, enlightening ourselves as what is the main essence of coming into this world, first and foremost, before we think of coming into the various work experiences that we are having either in public or private life, or the kind of trades, crafts, and other sort of livelihood engagements that we have to earn a living that will sustain our living for the purpose of serving the Almighty Allah as Muslims of this earth. So with this idea from him, I think with the approval of the executive committee, we will now want to incorporate at least a member each from the 7 districts that we have for the Masjid, so that we will have an enlarged membership that will have wider exposure, wider opportunities, and wider ideas that will come up with, so that we can present to the Ummah to know how to engage people. But the major thing that we have intended doing initially was to engage all the stakeholders. Who are the major stakeholders? Of course, the district head for the Gwarinpa, then the other trade associations, then the other government organizations that are within that will help in the addressing the issues that we have at stake. The NDLEA, the police authority, the civil defense, and of course other governmental organizations that are settled with the responsibility of empowerment. This includes Civilian Industrial Training Fund, Director of Employment, and others that others may suggest that will come into being to help us in addressing and seeing how best can the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah or the larger group community benefit from such initiatives that are being emanated by government to assist, because it's the idle minds that makes people to go into very useless things. But as soon as people are being engaged meaningfully and beneficially, then of course the issue of having envy or having nothing to do or fighting to fight here and there will equally not be coming up. So I think with the suggestion from this other colleague and brother, we will incorporate at least a member each from the district. But just as being rightly observed by the brother by my left, the meeting here ought to have been a conglomeration of the host and the other adjoining mosque membership that are supposed to be here, so that as we are talking now, we are talking to the first district as far as the masajid are concerned, so that we will reduce the burden of saying we cannot reach individual 100 plus mosques or masajid. But where we have clustered them according to the districts, that will help us in reaching out to them at a faster speed, and the information will. The essence is, after this one, they should have gone back to their respective masajid, disseminate the same information that we have from them, and share the information and the knowledge and the initiative that the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah has, so that the larger society in the Gwarinpa Ummah will now benefit and understand what the Ummah is all about. And may the Almighty Allah continue to help and guide and strengthen our initiatives, and may you continue to give us the support, understanding, and cooperation that we so desire in achieving this. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your response on that question. Let me first of all say, I just asked the secretary now, we call the other districts, we call them on the phone number you gave us, and they acknowledge that they will hear. So we are very, very surprised that they didn't turn up eventually. In fact, apart from the secretary, now also, and they confirmed to me that they called, because I was always particular about their attendance, so that we can know them and they can also benefit from it. But inshallah, before we talk, the second thing I want to say is you talk about, it seems you are talking about the people at low, the Coca-Cola, the Kenya, and all that. But honestly, the moral cadence in the society cut across even people at the top. Cut across people at the top. I'm just talking from personal experience. Sometimes I begin to say, is this person, this is a Muslim? Where are you seeing this lot of things? Where are you taking this money to? I'm doing private consultancy, and I'm also into contracting. I see terrible things that we are not supposed to see. So when we are looking at the Babangula and the other group, we should also be looking at people at the top. There's a problem there. Things you don't expect somebody who is praying, things you don't expect a Muslim to do, you see it very high level. So the Allah help us is quite sad. The situation kind of thing. But the people at the high level. So inshallah, we do that one is the best country, but we need them to follow, and the Allah assist us to see the success of it.
Just another addition to what I said. I didn't elaborate, but I said that the first thing that the Enlightenment Committee will do is the engagement of stakeholders. It might surprise you to know that part of the things that we initially or preliminarily understood from the crisis that has happened after the Eid al-Fitr was the menace and the moral decadence that has eaten deep into our family routines at the Gwarinpa village level. And of course, because it's a local and village setting, there are so many things that you may not even want to mention publicly. But the best engagement that we had wanted doing is to engage the major stakeholders at the highest level, as you mentioned. The district head, the Meungwa, and all the title holders in the Gwarinpa village. And then the leadership of the Muslim community at the level of Masjid, at the level of trade associations and crafts and plaza leadership. You know, if you have this plaza that you have group of traders, they have a community that they are representing to cover their own interests. And whatever that affects the larger community affects them, because if anything happens in terms of insurgency or in terms of crisis, they are likely to be affected positively or negatively. So as such, these identified plazas and other business locations are equally part of those that we are going to engage. But the initial challenge we are having is the cooperation and support from the traditional institution. We are at the district palace, what do you call it, district head's palace on several occasions to discuss such issues. But the response has been positive, but sluggish. Sluggish in the sense that we had wanted moving at a faster speed, but the way they are dragging us is not that encouraging. That is what we are doing. But you know, when you are trying to get some people to understand, you have to go at their own pace so that you won't be that aggressive to you to have achieve the meaningful purpose that you so desire. But we are taking it gradually, and by the grace of God, we'll be there. By the grace of God, before December, we should be able to achieve that. The major stakeholders meeting, and then to be followed by the initiative and the empowerment plan that we have that will engage the youth at the grassroots level. But certainly, we are not starting from the grassroots, we are starting from the top. To talk to ourselves, to understand ourselves, and to talk to ourselves that we are messengers of Allah on earth, and we have responsibility to answer to Him when we get back to Him. None of us know where He's going. And whatever that you do, in whatever capacity that you find yourself, you are answerable to God, because there is a saying of the Hadith of Allah, we are all responsible to our immediate families, to the small organizations or whatever that we are employing, and to the neighborhoods that we are living, so that we make meaningful, positive impact. And anything that will bring any negativity is something that we should desist from, and we should try to talk to ourselves. But of course, there are three levels. There's something that you can do and change in your hand. There are something that you can only talk, and beyond the doing by hand and talking, the best or the least of it is to get it in your mind. But we don't want to go to that least level, but until we exhaust that benefit, the ones that have been mentioned by earlier. So,
okay, I think with all these comments and contributions, questions that were addressed, I believe we have come to the end of this session. Inshallah, will provide a copy of this, a soft copy of the Constitution, or you have a hard copy also. Okay, we have sent already a soft copy, but we can resend. Inshallah, we can send to all members here soft copy. Inshallah. Okay. I hope these are WhatsApp numbers. So whoever is on WhatsApp will get a soft copy. And we expect a feedback. Is it after a week or two?
Maximum, inshallah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. We meet every 2 weeks. So we hope
by the time we meet, your response will be with us. Having met with other members of the district, having deliberated on what has been discussed here. And I believe if we continue to move this way, inshallah, we'll move forward. So, assalamu alaikum. So, Chairman, who will
Thank you very much. Okay, we have not even done it. Thank you. Maybe okay. We are maybe before that. So, word of thanks. God receive.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the Gwarinpa Muslim Ummah, I want to sincerely thank the executive of Gwarinpa Masjid Al-Huda for the reception, because we came and met reasonable number of the ESCO awaiting to welcome us before the meeting. We are equally grateful with the refreshment given to us. We are really happy and we are really grateful, and may God Almighty Allah furnish the force that provided that refreshment. We are equally grateful to you for the audience given to us. For the audience and the contribution you have made so far, and with the promise to get the feedback again from you. Again, as I'm making my vote of thank, another refreshment is coming in. So we thank you. I'm not saying spoiling. We thank you for the kind gesture given to us. May God Almighty Allah reward you abundantly. Reward you abundantly, and we hope we continue to collaborate with you, as this is the beginning, inshallah. Yes, just as Alhaji Sani has said, the essence is not only the Babambola and what have you. It will cut across all the critical stakeholders. Issue of marriages, issue of skills acquisition, issue of health, and whatever. There is even an idea of putting a health center here in Gwarinpa, inshallah, with the help of the Ummah and some critical stakeholders as well. So many things on ground, inshallah, to come to pass as time goes on. So, and I hope God Almighty Allah will take each and every one of us back to our respective destination safely. Thank you. May Allah bless each and every one of us.
So Alhamdulillah, Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you. May Him reward you in Jannat al-Firdaus. Jazakumullah khairan. Jazakumullah khairan once again. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى. اللهم بارك لنا في جميع أمورنا. اللهم بارك لنا في جميع أمورنا. اللهم بارك لنا في جميع أمورنا. اللهم استر عوراتنا. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا وآمن روعاتنا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. الحمد لله.